What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2017 movie Annabelle Creation. So this movie, a nun and a group of kids from an orphanage and stuff move into this farmhouse with this couple named Samuel and Esther Mullins. Their daughter, 12 years prior, had died in a car accident, and they wanted to welcome these kids into their home and stuff, and they come across the Annabelle doll, and one of the girls starts having a lot of problems being chased by this demon in their house, and eventually ends up becoming possessed by the spirit of Annabelle, which is the daughter of Samuel and Esther, although it's not really their daughter that the demon is. The demon is just uses their daughter to trick them into letting it possess the doll so that it can later possess a human. And so the kids and the nun and everyone are trying to figure out how to get away from the doll and get away from Annabelle and stop her and everything. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I actually somewhat enjoyed this movie. I was really kind of surprised that I did, because I'm not really into these movies. Like I've said in my previous reviews, this isn't really a franchise that I really am into and stuff. I thought the first Annabelle, when I saw it the first time, was horrible. When rewatching it, I liked it a little bit more, but not a whole lot. But this time, I actually really enjoyed this movie. I had never seen this one before and everything. I think a lot of it comes down to the talent and stuff behind it, though. It has a really good cast and a really good director and everything. So Talitha Bateman plays Janice, who is the girl that Annabelle is trying to possess, and she's really good in this movie. I personally think she gives a really great performance. She, for the first 2 acts of this movie, she's like playing a disabled kid and stuff, and I think she does a really good job. And then Lulu Wilson plays her friend Linda, who's one of the girls, and she's really good too. She gives a really good performance. The only other thing I think I've seen her in is a movie called Becky, which I really liked her in that movie a lot too, and I thought she was really good in this one. Stephanie Sigmund plays Sister Charlotte, and she's a pretty likable character, and she has a good part in here, and I like how she kind of has ties to The Nun, which is another one of the movies that I haven't seen in this franchise. It's actually the next one up, but I thought that was kind of cool. They had a little bit of a tie to it. I don't know if it's going to play into the Nun movie or not, but I'm guessing it probably won't, but I don't really know. But all of the cast in this movie are good, and I thought it was cool that Grace Fulton plays Carol, one of the girls. She was also in Shazam, which was directed by this movie's director, David S. Sandberg, who I really like his work. He did a really great job with Shazam. I really love that movie, and I also loved his first movie, Lights Out, which is another one of those movies that's kind of in the same style as the Conjuring franchise, but some reason I really love that movie. I think it's because of how well the characters are written and stuff. And this movie is the same way. It has really decent written characters. I wouldn't say they're like super great, but they're well written, and the acting is good, and the story is decent. It adds some interesting lore to the Annabelle character that I didn't really know that I would even care about, but I think the writers of this movie actually did a pretty good job on it. I think it's written by Gary Doberman, who I think, from what I heard, has worked on other movies in the franchise. I think he actually helped write the first Annabelle and directed the third one. But I think this movie was fun, and Benjamin Wallfish does the score for it, and he's really good at doing horror movie scores. He did the score for the for It and It Chapter 2, and he does a really good job with this one too. I think that's one of the things that this franchise does have is pretty good scores, and I think this is probably the best out of all of them. You could tell that he took inspiration from The Shining and other movies that are kind of set in this type of story, and he did a really good job with the score, and it helped with that, give it that eerie atmosphere and stuff. And the cinematography is really good too. It's not quite as good as the cinematography in the first Conjuring movie, but it's still pretty good. But as far as the rest of it goes, it had some really good set pieces, and I like how it has a lot of similarities to the movie The Haunting, like the way the sets are designed and stuff. I think that the movie was inspired by that as well, so I thought that was kind of cool too. The original Haunting, not the remake, which that one had some good sets too, I'm not gonna lie, even though I didn't like that movie either. But the biggest weaknesses in this movie is it does rely a little bit too much on jump scares. There's a few parts that you know what's going to happen and stuff, like you're just waiting for something to jump out and try to scare you. It's not really scary, and it does have some bad CGI. I wish it wouldn't have had that. And there were a few parts where characters get killed and stuff. I expected more than what we got with it. They cut away and stuff. I was like, why are you cutting away? This movie is rated R. You could show the kills. And they do show the aftermath of a couple of them. One of them is really gruesome. Esther's body and stuff, it's really gruesome, but the other one, it just isn't very good, and it shows like the beginning of him being killed. Esther's husband, I already forgot his name, but and it does this thing where it's pulling back his fingers and stuff. It's really real. So like the visual effects and stuff in this are about as bad as they are in Conjuring 2, which is really sad because the first Conjuring movie had pretty decent special effects and stuff, but all of the movies since then haven't, and everything, because they rely too much on CGI. But the CGI isn't like so bad that it totally ruins the movie, because it's not like it's in there a whole lot, just in little parts of it. But it would have been a lot better if they would have used practical effects and stuff. But all in all, I think Annabelle Creation is a decent movie and a pretty dull franchise, and everything. I'm not exactly sure how high I should rate it, because I know when I rewatch it, I probably am not going to enjoy it as much. But I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10, and it probably will drop at least down to a 6 on rewatch, because of knowing what's going to happen and stuff. And this movie actually felt like it had stakes too, which is something that none of the other movies have had and everything. Like I actually was concerned about the kids and stuff, even though deep down I knew they weren't going to die or anything, but I knew they also weren't in the original Annabelle movie, so they could somehow have not survived, but I knew they weren't going to die, because this ain't that type of horror movie where a lot of characters are going to die. More characters did die in this than I expected, but still wish it would have been more brutal, and like we could have seen the deaths a little bit more and stuff, just because I'm a gore hound and stuff. But all in all, I think think Annabelle Creation is an okay movie. It's not like super great, but it was a decent watch, and I'd probably watch it every now and then if I'm gonna watch David S. Sandberg's movies, because like I said, he is a really good director, and I look forward to seeing what he does after he's done with the Shazam movies. I hope he kind of goes back to doing original horror stuff and everything, but I think he's a really promising director, and he made at least a decent movie in a franchise that I'm not really that big on, so, but anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Annabelle Creation, and hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.